So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by the lead singer of the band Scare. His name is Philip. Philip, how are you?
I'm great, and you?
I'm doing good. So, we're here to talk about your second full length album that came out last Friday. In
Yes.
the end, was it worth it? So for people that don't know, Scare is a band from Quebec, Canada,
Yes. Exactly.
which I've been to, lovely city,
Yeah.
and
And
so here to
you pronounce it right because normally people that speak English say Quebec, but it's really Quebec. It's
yeah,
Quebec. You pronounce it good.
because I'm from Puerto Rico, so and
Uh,
plus I went there. I remember it's Quebec, not
yeah, it's
Quebec.
Quebec. Yeah.
Quebec. It's a cool day. It's a very cool city for
Yeah,
people who have
absolutely.
been there. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
pretty. It's like Europe in Canada.
Yeah, it's super old. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So something that I like about your Instagram page is that your description of the band is just says "get loud."
Yeah. Absolutely. We like to play loud on stage. I know that this the sound guy or for some person doesn't like it, but we usually play super loud.
And this record is very fucking loud.
Yes, thank you. I take it as a compliment.
It's very loud, and you know what? I was watching the music video for this the single. What's it called? Fresh Melrose.
Trash
And
metal, yeah.
you're in the background, but I don't know. I didn't know if it was you, and all of a sudden I thought, is that Charles Manson? And now I'm looking up
It's probably me.
like, hey, that could be a Halloween costume, like you.
No, we didn't put Charles Manson on the video, but sometimes maybe I could look like him. I know with the beard and the hair, but yeah, no.
No, he looks creepy. He has a creepy look to him.
Yeah, it's creepier than me.
No, you're not creepy, man. So yeah, this album was, it's hard to categorize it because there's like hardcore, but
Yes.
there's like metal, and there's even there's samples and there's some songs that uh, not to call it grunge, but it had like some lighter tones. Like you
Yes.
have two Doom Nation. You have like at the end, at
Yes.
the middle, at the end, and I thought like I was like, what are the difference? Because the I'm like they're like mostly instrumental, but I was curious about what does Domination mean in the record.
It make more sense on the vinyl because Domination One and the side A and Domination Two and the side B. The Domination One is more on lyric side is more about there's no hope. We gotta everything's gonna hand and we're gonna hand with it. And Domination on the B side is more about no, there's still hope. We need to continue to build something up. And we changed the instrument on the second one. Like the bass became a Moog. We tried to add more ambience on it, so it gave a different vibe. But it's because the album is about a loop that there's a theory that we're living in a loop. So every time we we make a choice or we go left instead of right, or we end a relationship or we change job, every choose we take, we're gonna repeat those over and over again until the end of eternity. So having the vinyl kind of loop a little bit with the same vibe
Mhm.
made more sense for us to have twice the song, but also like with different, like there's still hope. So we need to go back to what we destroyed to rebuild it better.
Yeah, it's almost like that feeling of when you have like deja vu.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
it's yeah,
That's a reason in the theory that's when you get a deja vu is when you remember something that you already did in your past loop.
Yeah, like yeah. So yeah, that's very interesting. Sometimes I don't know about you, but I've had like something. I'm like, I think I dreamt this years ago
Yes.
that something was gonna happen. But yeah, it's an interesting concept, and it's a 31-minute record, so it's a short.
Fast. Yes.
Well, I've heard some shorter albums, so
Oh
30.
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But it's goes straight to the point. We try to have not short song, but uh, past 2 minute and a half. I'm starting to get anxious that people's gonna get bored of the song. So I like to go straight to the point. Like as we need like good riff, but not that many riff for a song to catch up and be interesting. So we try to keep it short, but straight to the point, straight to the urgency of what we need to scream about.
Yeah, no, and I've talked, it's cool to the point. It reminds me. Last year, I talked to a band. They're from Canada as well. Can't remember. I don't know if they're from the same area called Apes. Uh,
Oh, I play bass in Hapes.
oh, you play bass in Apes?
Yeah, I play bass in Hapes. That's
So
funny.
last year, I talked to someone from Apes.
Yeah, I think it was either Goulet or Gab.
Yeah, cool. So cool guys. So you're playing that.
Yes.
That's cool. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, yeah, because I'm like, I think they were from Quebec as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We live super close.
awesome. That's awesome. But in this one, you sing and you do samples.
Yes, exactly.
So, Philippe, when you're looking for samples for this album, what samples did you use and like what was the vibe? Because it gives it like an eerie vibe.
Yeah. I try to like whenever I'm watching something or I'm listening to a song, I always take note when oh that sentence was great. So I got a bunch of notepad on my phone. Oh, that part of the song could be a nice sample. I could loop it and make it hairy and stuff like that. So I'm always taking note about sentence, and sometimes the sentence of the sample give me an idea for a song and vice versa. So, or I write a song and I need a sample for it. So yeah, it goes either way. But every time I'm watching something, I'm taking note all the time. I just cannot like, I need to analyze everything when I watch something or I listen to something. So that's my kind of way of keeping it grounded.
Good, but it's not like you're out eating dinner and you pull out something like, wait, I want a
No,
sample.
no, not that kind. But on I already got idea for the next one, so maybe there will be some natural and a sample on it. But yeah, normally it's when I'm watching stuff, analyzing stuff, or listening to music. I kind of wanna to keep short sample, but I wanted to make it creepier. And I work with the old bass player from Scare who does noise music, so he helped me uh, make those sample even creepier.
Oh, what's his name? Because maybe I also interviewed him.
He's his noise project. Sorry, his noise project is called Ugly Bass Player.
No, I haven't talked to Ugly Bass Player yet.
He's pretty like he's a real noise artist, like the one that are hidden like a cockroach and like hidden in the dark, and you don't see him. You don't. He doesn't even have a Facebook or anything, so it's pretty. He's pretty like he's isolated.
He's a smart guy. Uh,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
if I were going to the past, maybe it's like, yeah, maybe,
Maybe you
maybe
shouldn't go that way.
it's a good idea when you think about it right now.
Yes.
So yeah, so the album starts with a great track called "Nevermind If it all exploded, I'll die anyway. Which I thought
Yes.
that's a great title for a song. The song title is almost longer than the song.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. I like the long title. Remind me of the screamo era that I used to listen a lot when I was younger. But not like the MTV emo screamo, like the real underground screamo, like Spring of Rite of Spring and stuff like that. Like good screamo catalyst and stuff like that, like orchid also, like band that kind of the locust. So I'm trying to keep that vibe a little bit with longer title, but that one is a reference to an old band I used to listen when I was younger. The bass player of that band and the drummer used to play in Scare. They used to be the first drummer and bass player, and they had a song called "Never Mind If It All Explode." Um, I'll escape anyway, but I wanted to put a dark side on this, and but also give them an homage, because it was the band that made me want to play music, the band that made me discover that there's local artists near me that can do music that I can fall in love with and want to do more like what they did. So I wanted to make an homage to them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the next track, like the second track, PMA or pessimistic mental attitude. I just love that
Yeah.
title. That was like
Yeah.
straight to your face, hardcore. What's
Yeah.
that? What's that?
It's about me getting sober during the pandemic. I went into a hard phase, so I needed to stop everything, so I went sober. The song started with like another boring song about a man who stopped drinking his life away. Because I wanted to write a song about sobriety, but in the meantime, I didn't want to write a song about it because I
Mhm.
told to myself, everyone's writing about this, you don't need to add another song about that. But I kind of needed to like put my struggle on the table and just to scream about like living, because I'm someone who live with a bunch of anxiety. I'm an anxious person, stuff like that. So going back to shows and doing shows sober without anything to numb the pain, numb the anxiety was super hard at the beginning, but I'm starting to get better and better. So yeah, I wanted to write about the struggle of sober in an era of um hyper consumerism with alcohol everywhere, like drugs and alcohol everywhere, even in shows. Like heavy music shows is always like, oh, gonna pay you in beer, here's some tickets for beer and stuff like that. So I wanted to put the emphasis on, yeah, it's hard to play in heavy music and being sober.
Yeah, no, totally. And congrats on that. And you quit in one of in a very hard year. But you know what?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I quit on the hardest year, but I used to like at the beginning of pandemic, I used to buy like beer for my whole week, like 50 beers and stuff like that. But instead of drinking like just for degustation and stuff like that, but instead of like having the whole week to drink it, I drank in 2 days. So I was like, okay, now I have a problem. So I stopped right away.
yeah. In the pandemic, what I like a lot of people weight. I lost weight.
Yeah.
Exercising and doing things for mental thing. But you know, it's good that you talk about it in a
Yeah.
song. It doesn't sound like preachy, you know, because so because that's maybe that's something, you know, because obviously it's there's some bands that only like talk about that in like that's almost all of the 80s band. Like
Yeah.
that's all Motley fucking crew talked about drugs and drinking and having sex with women. And That was it. There was nothing more to them.
No, no, it's just sex, drug, and rock and roll. That's it. And it was the only theme. But I'm glad we went out of that era a little bit and discover more subject to talk about.
There's so many things more to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So the video for Fresh Melrose, that song is more like a fresh. Well, it has it in the. It's like a. It's it has the fresh in the element.
Yes.
The music video is all over like chaotic, and obviously you're there. It's not Charles Manson. So tell me a little bit about that track.
Yeah, that track is about green anarchism during the pandemic when I went a little bit crazy in my house. So I wanted to like surrounded by concrete, always in the city, like with the city noise and everything. So I went in the wood. I found a cabin. I stayed there for a part of the pandemic. I I needed to escape the city a little bit. So I read during that time, I read a lot about green anarchism and going back to our roots, going back to a simpler life, going back to smaller um, need. So we wrote a song about it, and we asked our friend Xavier, which is in two bands in Quebec called Mid Diver and Baboon, which are like post grunge stuff. He's a cinematographer in Quebec, and we wanted something raw that represent the city but like not the good side of the city. We wanted to like to have something a little bit airy. So we went full analog with an old camera and juxtaposed some shots from the city and us and like garbage and stuff like that, just for us to feel a little bit like discomfort about the city and stuff like that, just like I felt during the that period of my life. So yeah, that's we try to work with friends, with people that we know. So that's why when we thought about doing a clip, I asked my friend right away.
Yeah, cool. The music, it's
It's super like um uh indie, like it's not like big budget and stuff like that, but we're not a band with like full of, let's say, fla and like extra stuff, and so like we like it raw, we like it quick, we like it like brutal a little bit. So we that's why we went like that aesthetic way.
yeah. But if you think about it, in 2025, Philip. Like, who the fuck is going to want to spend money on music videos?
Absolutely. Nobody's watching that anymore, buddy.
You know, back in the 90s,
Yeah.
like the music video were important. They were like mini movies. But now you put them on YouTube. So why spend so much money to something that's going to be put on YouTube?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I haven't watched music video channel in a long time. That they were playing reality crap. So I remember I told one of my friends, instead of being called MTV, they should just call it TV now.
TV, yeah, it's not even music anymore.
There's
It's
no,
just like reality shit and stuff like that.
and it's such a disservice because I remember growing up in the 90s, every Saturday night, I would when I would watch Headbangers Ball
Yes.
at midnight.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and you would find out about bands, and then on Sundays they had like 120 minutes, which was more of the alternative band. So
Yes.
I don't
I used
I
to put my VCR on at that time and like record the clip that I wanted to rewatch and stuff like that.
yeah, it was good times.
Yes.
Everyone, streaming or you find music through word of mouth, but I like the that old vibe of like watching the videos, and I love watching. I like doing interviews because my inspiration for doing interviews or was Matt Pinfield.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I thought like even to this day, I think he's the one of the best interviewers and music knowledge people out there.
Yeah.
I wish I could interview Matt Pinfield. I actually, yeah, he had a book that I read.
Yeah.
Very
What's it
interesting
called?
book. I can't remember right now, but I'll, once I get the name, I'll send you the name because it's pretty
Perfect.
cool. It goes through every stage of his career, and he talks about like his favorite albums from like the 50s until like the 2000s. It's pretty
Okay,
cool
great.
book.
I love
Uh,
reading about those kind of guys. It's great.
yeah, no. So yeah, so it's inspiration for me uh, to to do that. So you this weekend you had obviously the album release show. How did that go?
Yes, it went great. The venue was packed. Everyone was there with like an energy to destroy everything. So it was really awesome. We had a great show. We're doing a more show this weekend in Montreal and Sherbrooke. But yeah, the show last weekend was amazing. I couldn't like ask for a better show than that. It was great.
Yeah, I'm guessing the people were pumped and you.
The people seems to love the new record, so it's great. It's fun. The reception is great, and people dig the new song. The energy is there. The party vibe a little bit is there also, so it's great. It's great. I love to see the people
Yeah,
push each other, but during the song.
yeah, no, that's cool. So I'm gonna show the artwork of the album.
Yes.
Pretty cool artwork. So we can talk about the artwork. Once I get it here, there's the artwork. So yeah, the artwork's pretty cool. So here we have it. In the end,
Yes.
but tell me a little bit about the what you guys.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
we work with Kevin Martel, which is the I would say that he's the fifth member of Scare. He's the visual aspect of Scare. He did the visual since the beginning. He's always been there with us. So I made him listen to the record and I talked to him about like what's the vibe of the record, what's the nihilist aspect of it, and what's the loop and the general theme of the album. So we went with the an image from like this is the death from Seven Seal, an old Igmar Bergman movie about a crusader who defy death in a chess match to prolong his life as much as possible because in his head his mission is not done, so he need to like keep living, and death cannot refuse a duel, so he played chess with it and they talk, but in the end he realized that his his life is his mission is done and he should follow that. And that's the same way like with the title of the album. So it's all about like in the end, was it worth it that you continue your life? Is it worth it that you fight for this? Was it worth it that you kept on hoping for a better place or a better life? So yeah, we went into like black and gray, but it's not fully black and gray. There's a little bit of a taint of blue for small kind of hope maybe. But yeah, we try to be a super minimalist. The name of the band is just in the back. It's not a it's not in the front. It's really like this in the back. It would in the end, was it worth it? So yeah, we're both, me and Kevin, big movie horror movie fans, so we couldn't go any other way than putting some movie reference in it.
yeah. Plus, you're called Scare.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to have a horror movie aspect in that.
Yeah. Philippe, what's your top three like horror movies of all time?
Of all time, that will be hard. Of all time, oh man, that's a trick question.
What's
Uh, I'm a big fan of Halloween. I will say Halloween one from John Carpenter is still one of the greatest slasher movie ever. I'll try not to go too much into the uh mainstream, but yeah, Halloween one definitely. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, so I will put every John
Okay.
Carpenter in the box. But yeah, all in one. I would say if I'm trying to go more modern, I will say that Hereditary was one of the movie in the past year that made me anxious and was like, oh, okay, he did something great, and it was like,
Is that the one about the girl in the head?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That
I don't know
one,
why. And I didn't like that movie. Everyone, I watched it, and
yeah.
I like, eh.
You didn't
And
like it? Oh, I love maybe it was the where you were when you watch it. Were you like in a dark room?
head went out the window. I'm like, some bad shit is gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I love that one. And if we go more recent, it's a hard question. I would I would I would say Universal Monster, because every year and on Halloween I rewatch every four. Oh, I'm also drinking in my Universal Monster mug. So
Oh,
I'm always going back to the roots, like the old Dracula with Bela Lugosi, Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, the Mummy and Creature of Black Lagoon and the Wolfman. So yeah, I'm boring like that, but I would say Universal Monster is one of the greatest. It's the beginning of wanting to scare people. The beginning of like,
yeah.
okay, we try something new.
The last one I saw that I don't know if it's considered horror because to me I wasn't scared. Was the Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah, it's great. I saw it from Robert Eager. I love it.
Scared. It's funny. I don't know the voice. People, oh, his voice sounded scary. He sounded like he had trouble breathing. Like, oh,
You probably got trouble breathing if you've been alive
yeah,
for so many years.
you are in
Yeah.
Shanti.
But I thought it was a great movie. Like visual was great. The ambience was great.
Yeah, you know which one I want to see, and I haven't seen it, but it has some good reviews, and it's weird because it stars Hugh Grant, and
Oh,
Hugh Grant.
it's great. Heretic,
I
it's really awesome.
seen it. I saw the clip, and I'm like, this is very different from him because he's
Yes,
used to like you see him like in romantic comedies, and then
yes,
you see creepy. It looks like
yes.
it's a.
And it's
Don't
it
spoil it. I want to watch that one.
it's so
What's
weird because it's working so great with Hugh Grant. Like he's playing like a theologist talking about religion and stuff, but he's so great in that. Like you believe him as a
what's?
creepy dude.
I need to watch that movie.
It's great. You should.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. But yeah, no, it's yeah, it's that one looks like a cool one. The one I saw recently from last year that people were like, "Oh, it's great." It's Long Legs. Did you see that?
Yes. Yes, I like it also until the third act. The third act kind of broke the movie for me, but all of the first and second act like felt like a Silence of the Lamb movie, like a more like
It
intrigue
felt
detective.
of Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, and but at the end when the supernatural aspect of it arrived, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they did there. I would have stayed the um like plausible and normal way through the end, but yeah, I like the Nicolas Cage performance. It
Well,
was crazy.
as hell.
Yes,
He's like,
he's crazy. He's fucked up.
So I'm like, was Nicolas Cage always this creepy? Because he's an over actor. Like
Yes,
he's like
yes,
over everything. so so yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool to talk. To see like, but I'll watch that Hugh Grant one.
yeah. You
Uh,
should.
I need to watch that one. So So for a band like Scare, like well,
Yes.
like what, like you talked a little bit about your influences, but like any other like type of music that influence your sound?
Definitely we're a big fan of Converge, Cursed, an old band from Canada. Myanmar, which is an old band from Quebec City. So we like band that are raw and go straight to the point with an urgency. So yeah, I would say Converge, Curse, and Myanmar are big influence on the band.
Yeah. The last few years, I've speaking to a few metal bands from Quebec.
Yes.
So there's a lot of cool metal bands in your area.
Absolutely.
Why?
Like the
What?
Evis. Why? I think
Yeah,
it's got something to do with the winter. Having like
that's-
8 months of snow and like depressing stuff is getting into you.
yeah. It's like Seattle in the '90s with the grunge.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
and in Canada because it gets super so fucking cold.
Yes, yes, exactly. So yeah, there's a bunch of revival in the past few years for from old school death metal, big hardcore band, metal band or grindcore band. But yeah, I think like the political aspect of Quebec and the climate here made us want to scream louder than everyone.
No, yeah, awesome. I want to go back to that city, and now that I know that I can go to that city and see so many metal bands, that's a plus too.
Yes,
Like, yeah, like what's your favorite venue to play over there?
the venue to play. In Quebec, I would say Lanty Bar and Spectacle is great. In Montreal, I would say definitely Turbo House and Fofun Electric, which is an iconic venue. But yeah, Lanty Bar and Spectacle in Quebec and Turbo House in Montreal are great venue because they the thing with those venues that they're not Ticketmaster stuff. Like they're not like super big and they don't care about music. They're still super close with the artists and like they want to promote local scene. They want to help local band. So those kind of venue are important in those kind of era. So we really need more venue like those to promote DIY stuff, the DIY band, and to help local and a smaller band to become something.
Yeah, that's where it's at in the underground. So see, I went to Canada, Quebec, and other areas a long time ago. I was going to seventh grade, but this is a question. There was this restaurant that we went there. I wonder if they still exist because they were ashamed. Maria Antoniette. Do
No,
they?
it's not. They closed that. I think it's 20 years ago, approximately. It is now a chicken store.
I wanted to ask if it closed. Uh, I had one of the worst hamburgers of my life in Maria Antoniette. And I remember the woman was like, look at, and I think I told her, is this why they decapitated her?
Probably it was, yeah, it was probably a reason why they closed. It's because the food wasn't great.
So I just remember Maria Antoniette. I have a really funny story of when I went there, I was practicing how to say like the check, laticio s'il vous plaît.
Oh yeah.
Why I got the words confused and I said something else. I said instead of "laticio s'il vous plaît," I said, "Hey, miss," and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Bon petit vos place." I still today have no idea what I say to her.
He said like um you said two sentence. It's not really a sentence. You said like bon appetit and good play like a good seat. This is a good seat.
Oh, I remember she looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong
Yeah.
with?"
That's weird.
But yeah, but it's good to know that Marie Antoinette
Oh yeah,
closed.
they're all closed down. It doesn't exist anymore. There's not even a reference of it anymore.
But it's still in my brain.
It's still there. It's still there. Yeah.
It's that also awful hamburger.
My mom used to work in a Marie Antoinette when I was like 5.
Oh my! Well, this was back. I was going.
Maybe she was the one that cooked the hamburger and that
I
you didn't like.
remember if I had it in Montreal or Quebec.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and this was back. I was going to the 6th to 7th grade. So this was 89 to 90. So it's been a long time.
Oh yeah. It's
But
far.
I definitely need to return to Canada.
Yeah,
Uh,
but don't go to Marie Antoinette. Go to a better. Don't go to franchise stuff. Go to like
Now,
local cuisine.
yeah, I remember I was young. It was I went where my
Yeah.
parents took me, but but yeah, it's cool. It's good to know. I'm glad now. I know that it's closed. So
Yes.
it's been awesome chatting with you. You're a super cool dude. And the album, it's like they say, killer no filler. It's like 31 minutes of like punch you in the face, but it has some dynamics to it. So uh, before I let you go, like what would you say to the fans or maybe people that haven't listened to Scare?
Like you said, go listen to it. It's not that long. It's super quick. It's super short. So even if you don't like it, you wouldn't lose a big chunk of your day. It's just gonna be at 30 minutes. You can do that on while running or doing some chords or stuff like that. It help you pump it up to throw something in the trash and stuff like that. But um yeah, people should listen to it because I know that it's gonna sound cheesy a little bit, but I think that we're gen genuine people that care about what we do. We take it very personal and seriously what we create. And we have some great conviction, I think. And we work on that album for almost four years. So we did put a lot of it on it. So yeah, we're trying uh to express ourselves with those kind of music as much as any other artist, but this one is true to our heart because we lost band member during that process. They needed to go back to their hometown and stuff like that. So we that album as a big process of like breakup and heartbreak and stuff like that. So there's a lot of emotion in that album, and I think that everyone could relate to that aspect of questioning your questioning yourself every day of your life. Like, is what I'm doing worth it? Is my job worth it? Is my current relationship is worth it? Is my life worth it? I think that in the end, the, the answer could be yes, everything is worth it if you put the energy on it. So you should listen to it just for that aspect of we work so hard for it, and we put so much love and energy into it, and if you don't like it, it's okay. There are other stuff, there's other music for you out there, but just the fact that people got together in a room, writes those riff, put it on a vinyl, put it on online, is just that is already amazing for me. So I just want to see more people do that all the time.
Awesome, man. So Couchers, Scared, in the end, was it worth it? Out now. I'll post the link for people who want to, order it, follow the band. So, Philippe, again, thank you for joining me all the way from Quebec
Yes, thank you
here
so
to
much for
Puerto.
having me.
Yeah. So, until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.